we're all used to coming to Google and searching in natural language by simply typing in plain English, we get results, and we're used to that as a society. Now imagine if instead of just writing in plain English, you had to write in some obscure language that gets translated to English for you to get your result. If that was the case, the adoption of search as a whole would be very limited because few people will write in those abstract languages. By having access to write in plain English, which is accessible to almost every single person, we've seen the rise of search and the internet as it is take form because of that. Now, why am I starting off with this teaser? It comes down into the transformation we're seeing around building applications. To crystallize this, let's take a look at the current Demohub page, which is hosted online. You can search for Demohub. The idea for this is to curate the tools in the modern data stack and make them available for anyone to search. As you can imagine, you come in here, there is a Light Dash, Anaconda, you can click on Apache Iceberg, you can click on Darkstar, and it takes you to what that website is. That's really the whole idea for this. For the longest time, the internet is a place of curation. Let's see how we can build something like this, or how you or anybody watching this without having to write a single line of code can build something like this in minutes. That is what we're going to talk about today. Bolt is this amazing tool for building application. On the screen here, we can see the UI for Bolt. Our goal is to build something similar to this, and we're going to see how easy it is. I'm going to come here to Bolt. I do have some prompts. I might come back and copy some of the prompts. I'll explain what we're doing. So what do you want to build? I want to build a web app that tracks all tools in the modern data stack. That is it. Go ahead and click enter on that. This is ChatGPT on the next level. With ChatGPT, you're getting your results, copying and pasting in your emails and things like that. Now we're talking about building full-blown application by just commanding for that to happen. Just like the way we can command and get search results, with essentially commanding now and getting full-blown applications. And you'll see how this works. All right, it came back with that single line of prompt of what I want. It does give the code and a preview of that. Really amazing. Looking at this, I'm not too impressed with the look of it. It does say modern data stack tools. There's a search functionality. Does it even work? Yeah, it does work. So search does work. There are some categories, but it's not the most appealing that you can imagine. Let's keep trying to make this better. So in here, I'm going to throw a simple prompt. This prompt will say, think like a designer. The app should be beautiful, use images and visually appealing, include a folder, and use the company logos. Anybody, if you can prompt, and there are people out there with ideas, with apps they want to build. In the past, you would have to hire a designer, hire a developer, hire offshore resources, or potentially learn to coach yourself. What we're seeing now is anybody, as long as you have an idea that is good enough and you can put it into writing, you can get an app out of that to a certain extent. Now, you're not going to build the next Facebook with this, but there are many micro apps, micro ideas, micro solutions that people have. The barrier to entry has always been, I don't understand code. I can write code. I can create functions. You really don't need to worry about this. If you want it, just stay on preview and ignore the code for now. That is all abstracted for you. I think that's why this is so powerful as the future of where we're going. The code is now getting deployed and preview. There is an issue, and let's see what the issue is. Request a module. If you're scared to say, I don't understand code, just click on fix the problem. Bolt is resolving the issue, redoing the code. The new app is ready. A little bit more interesting than the previous one. There are more examples. The search is there, storage, the filters work, transformation is included, DBT is using the logo for the companies. If it doesn't find a logo, it does leave it as such. But overall, the problem is, how do you take it to the masses? How do you deploy this so anybody, anywhere can get access to your app, assuming that you've successfully built that app? So here in Bolt, you can come in, you can download this code, you can open in Stack Bliss, or you can deploy. And we'll see all those options here shortly. To the left side is your chat history. Like, you're familiar with ChatGPT or Claude, you have your history here, your subscription, which I do have. the page version. I've chatted with this before. So you can put in some settings here in terms of the appearance of things you want, dark theme mode, the way the code editor works, your tokens, backups, and things. Very simple, in my opinion, a little bit minimalistic, but very functional. So here, go click on deploy. Deployment is a non-trivial task. There are people who build lots of things, but without the ability to just click and deploy, it stays on your machine and goes nowhere. What we're seeing here with one click, not only have we built the app, we've now deployed it with a URL. I don't know if this app will be still up when I publish this, but you can access the app by simply going to the browser. It leverages Netlify for the development. For those not familiar with Netlify, it's almost like a Heroku for shipping code fast. Going to this link now, you can see this app taking shape. In some cases, it's using the logo where it should. It's included some links which are not connected, so we can definitely fix that. The disclaimers are all in there. It does link to GitHub. I'm not sure why it does that. I'm not a big fan. I think we can do better than this in terms of the aesthetics. So now you are a designer, you're a developer, you're an administrator, all in one by simple prompts. If I open this up, airby.com, it takes us to the site. It gives us a description of what that is. These tags don't work. So and I haven't tried this particular prompt before. Let's try this line. We're going to come back here, paste that, add the product submission. I want people to come into this app and be able to submit new tools as part of tracking tools in the modern data stack like we do here on Demohub.dev. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe on the channel if you get value out of this, and share this with somebody that might also get value out of it. Let's go back on the application, which is this. We're going to see all of it. And I want to add a product submission form. So when users come in, they can submit and suggest new products. I might also want to have a login button here so they can log into this app. You can create apps at the speed of thought. Here is that prompt, which you can enhance by clicking on this. It's giving us a better prompt. I just asked for the form submission, but now it's giving details. And why this is handy is the pricing for Bold is driven by tokens, and the more optimized your prompts are, the less tokens you get to use and the better the result is. So having this ability to optimize your prompt and then you can deploy that to the app, I think it's really nice to have. While this is working, I'm gonna quickly type a new prompt, which is, so while that's going, I've added a new prompt from a functionality perspective. Create functional documents, create the design, send it to a developer understands. But all we want is additional functionality to allow users to bookmark and save their favorite prompt. So if you are a startup founder, these are things people usually want in applications. Would getting that in a simple click. Give it a second and we'll see what the results come back to. So that completed, but it does seem there is an issue. Usually it should resolve the issue here on the left, but the issue wasn't resolved. Let me just try this additional prompt here, which is add the ability for the users to log in with social. This might take a little bit longer, and I'm hoping that in trying to this social login feature, it should resolve the issue we saw before in the preview. That was successful, but we still have some issues here. It does give us a click outside, press escape key to fix the code to dismiss. All I would say is the code isn't running. Ideally, I should have picked or copied over the issue and pasted there so it's a little bit more focused, but I don't think the issue was in the app. This is a concern that I was thinking through this. If you run into issues, I wish there is a way to checkpoint the app so I could go back to a particular point in time when the app worked, because it would suck if the app doesn't work and I can go back to a working version. Luckily, it did work. So there is an issue still. Let's see. There is a submit tool. There's login. What's the issue here? Let's fix that. So I think it's struggling with the authentication. If it keeps struggling, I'll just take out the authentication for now, just so we keep this demo pretty brief. All right. Well, let's see what's the issue. Development mode, we're unable to attribute this request to the instance. That's fine. Let me go ahead and deploy this. particular app to the URL. It's starting the application. I'm hoping it keeps the same link. So what was the link from before? I think the link has changed. Let's copy the new link back. I'll go back over. Nope, it did not change. All right. So now we have a different version of the app and it's coming along. There could be some design improvements, but overall, we see DBT, we see a description, we see some good tags. We can show reviews, we can sort by ratings. Amazing tool. And go ahead, submit a review. Does it persist? Voila. Now it counts as one review, but I don't like it, right? You can see the formatting there is not perfect. There's one review, there is a 5-star review. Okay, let's do a 1-star, write a review. 1-star. There's 2. Let me see that. So 2 reviews. It's calculated the reviews. This is coming along. I have nothing bookmarked. So let me go back to all, remove the bookmarks. So there is no bookmark on the card. That is a problem. For the bookmarks to work, you're going to want to put the bookmarks on the card. Submit the tool. It does give us functionality. Let's see. Demohub. Let's do this. Bear with me for typing as we go. For Demohub, let's see if we can grab the link, copy the image address from over there, paste, submit. Doesn't like that. All right, so now we have a new tool submitted, Demohub. I love it. Ideally, you'll want to have a location or a process to have some admin review this, right? So you have new submissions coming to a queue for an admin to review before you list it out publicly. But it's not a bad move yet. Let's see, browse by category. So you can browse by category. So it's coming along. Now, one thing that we can do, let's go back to our prompts here. Let me get this prompt, which I had before, and throw that in there so it works on it. There is a site that I'm aware of, and I think is a beautifully done site. Kudos to them. It's called Futurepedia. I did the way it's categorized. They use good emojis there. There is a featured functional feature section, top trending, AI categories, and you can see AI tools. So I think it's an interesting site for this team or the team behind it. What I'm curious is, could it be possible to ask Bold to use that as an inspiration? I did pick a couple of sites here to use as an inspiration. Could Bold use that as an inspiration from a design perspective? And obviously, you gotta be ethical when doing things like this, right? Because you don't want to just copy somebody's site. But here we're just trying to demo the functionalities of Bold. So I'm very curious if we go ahead and paste that, if Bold would allow it. All right, so can this picture? Nope, it doesn't. All right, so we've told it to use this site as inspiration, use the categories to make it easy, and then have a detailed page to show the details for each data tool. So that's what we've asked it to do. All right, so I'm prompting here. I'm sure you can create better prompts for your own app or idea, but here I'm just asking for better categories, a detail page for the details of each tool, and then I'm asking to use greenish theme. Let's see, let me deploy this so we can test that. Oh no, we lost everything from in there. All right, let's do this again. Use this. All right, so the app is deployed. Now let's use this as inspiration. I'll type it again. All right, so that's a new prompt. I kept it brief this time. If we go back to the modern data stack, we redeployed. Nothing much changed. I wonder why. I still don't like the way the review shows here. That's a problem. Bookmarks are still fine. Log in to GitHub. It takes you to GitHub. For the prompt, we can ask it to give you a social login with Google. I think that's a very common way for logging into some of these apps. And then I can change this to a greenish theme, like we've said. We should also change this logo. Where is the site where we got the inspiration from? Futurepedia, what do they have? Login, search. All right. So let's see what this gives us. Takes a few seconds. Right here, this app we're building is private. You can make it public or have a secret accessible URL, or you can make the project visible to the public. The app is not working again. It should know the error itself, but we should do it just for the sake of it. Here is the error. Says I'll create the missing folder components. I wonder why it didn't do that in the first place. All right, so we're still having some issues here. It's rather unfortunate. And I think this is why I said that it might be nice to have good checkpointing. So I'm asking it that it's still not working. Make sure the app works and boots up to see if that works. Otherwise, we can go back to a previous chat history. If I was you doing this for a very critical, important app, I would be checkpointing and integrating to Git wherever possible. Now, while this runs, you can download the app package if you want to deploy this yourself somewhere else. I think it gives you the ability to do that like we've done here. Next to that, we don't want to keep the download. This is wonderful. This is amazing. Actually, let's deploy this and then I'll throw back some more prompts. While that is running, let's go in here. I have a list of products that I want to make sure captured as part of this. All right, so the deployment was successful. Let's refresh the app. And now we have something that looks like this. Again, we're getting closer. Did it use the inspiration we gave? It does use the greenish theme. It's good. It's using more emojis now. I like the greenish theme. And I think it's coming along with some time and some prompting. I'm sure we can get this to work the way it should. But I think by now you get the point of how powerful this is. Not only are we building the app from scratch, it's happening here. You are getting your app right, deploying that, and you could put a custom URL on this and no one would know what is behind this app. So I think what we're going to see is this proliferation of apps, right? Because there are people that have all these ideas and you don't have to build the next Facebook, right? You don't have to build the next Amazon. You might just have some micro ideas that could solve some issues, or you just want to blog for yourself. Let's actually do that before we wrap this up, the demo, right? Because some of my audience are people looking at growing their careers, and having a portfolio, a resume could be a good thing to have. So why don't we see that? I was going to spend some time and give it more lists to get all these tools, but I think by now we get the point. Say, so create a portfolio resume block for a mid-career software engineer. Again, I'm not specifying what it should be. I'm not saying use WordPress, Angular, Node.js, React, nothing. I just tell what I want. So right, just a resume, portfolio. I will see what this comes back with. I'm hoping that it comes back with something interesting. And guys, if you're going to use this, be ethical, right? Because in the past, people would have resumes based on things they build and showcase their competency. If you can just prompt and get something random up, I could see how challenging it would be to vet and really prove what people say is real, because now who knows what's real these days, right? So maybe what is real is what you prompt, and that's really what we should be validating more. Can someone write every single line of code the way it should be? But anyways, that's me pontificating a little bit. I was expecting this to go quicker than it is, but oh, wow. So that's a portfolio side, John Doe, feature projects, your resume, portfolios of what they built. You can view the project. And just like that, you have a portfolio website you can deploy and customize. It's a whole new paradigm we're existing in, right? All you gotta pay at that point is the hosting on Netlify and potentially Bolt, where you come in and prompt for your app to be updated. Let's open it up. And we have a portfolio site without images, but you can add images and things. It's amazing. So hopefully this gives us an idea. Always fascinated by modern data tools. Some might say this is not a modern data tool. It's still a very powerful tool in the modern data space, in the modern technology space. So hopefully this gives you an idea. Go check it out. Links in the description below. I have this set up to work with Python code. I have this set up to work with SQL. I think they focus more, and that's an aspect that I should really touch on. They focus more, the Bolt team, at least to my understanding, they seem to focus more on end-to-end applications. So you're talking about a new project like a JavaScript, HTML, or Node.js, where you take into account front end, the UI aspect, the back end, or you have full stack that mixes the front end and the back end, or mobile applications with Angular and TypeScript, or native languages for building applications, or Java or Python applications. I would say it seems more popular on full stack or front end, back end type applications. But I'm guessing that if you work mainly with data, Python would be relevant. You can declare what you want and get access to it. There's also the ability here to connect to Git. You can link a repository. You can work on different projects. There are collections. I haven't played with the collections yet. I'm guessing, let's say you are a design team or a web development team and you're using this to build projects for your customers, you can put them into different collections. That's my guess of what that is. Obviously, there are settings here. This is the billing that we talked about. I did sign up for the monthly. Otherwise, you run out of tokens. I think you get about 10,000 tokens to build the apps. In 2 prompts, I was out of that real quick. The current plan gives you, yeah, the site is Stack Bliss. What I'm looking for is pricing. The pro version gives you about 10 million tokens for $20 a month, US dollars. If you go higher, you get 26 million tokens, 55 million tokens, and 120 million tokens. And you might say to yourself, 10 million tokens, that's a lot. I might not need 10 million tokens, but you'll be wrong, because if you see this code going back and forth, that is a token. A token is about 4 characters usually. You can eat through that really fast if you're building lots of applications, or just asking for 10 million tokens is a lot. I'm guessing it's probably not that much in the grand scheme of things, depending on what you are doing. So I have 9.2 million tokens left out of the 10 million. I haven't prompted a lot. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what Bold is, going from an idea to building an app and being able to deploy that app with just a few prompts. There you have it. Hopefully this was helpful. This is through here with Demohub. Hopefully this gives you some ideas to try it out. If you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you on the next one.